Welcome to today's video. As you can already tell based upon the title of the video, today we are going to be sharing with you some footage of the experience that I had shopping at some of the famous vintage thrift stores located in the Marais district of Paris. I say my experience because it was a solo adventure that I experienced while Tony was off on his own checking out some of his favorite stores in Paris.
Now, my favorite store is the Adidas flagship store, but we were pretty far away from that and I didn't have the time to get there and back. So I went to my second favorite store, my favorite clothing store, especially for casual clothes, which is Uniqlo. And I was able to, the day of your birthday dinner, I was able to buy all my clothes for the birthday dinner in like an hour because, as you may recall, we didn't have any clothes because our luggage was lost. So I was able to buy shirts, pants, underwear, socks, even shoes. And the shoes may be a one-time wear, but I don't think I looked perfect, but I looked passable. But what I also did, and if you know me particularly at all, you know that I would do this, is I hit the hot dog stand.
You did.
The particular hot dog stand, and I actually hit it twice during this trip. Once while you were doing that, and it was spectacular, as always. And, you know, you might say to yourself, how can a hot dog place in Paris be spectacular? I don't know, but it is. All I can say is I love it.
And you went there, I think, a total of 3 times because we went together once.
Yes,
and
right.
and they're great. We both love it, but not to the extent that I would go there 3 times.
I go out of my way to go there.
Tony loves it.
I honestly, I like going there better than most of the restaurants just because I love hot dogs.
He loves hot dogs.
So,
yeah.
Anyway.
So in this video, though, I'm sharing footage of my experience going to the vintage thrift stores. And it's interesting because this is the first time I've ever ventured into these vintage stores. I stumbled across one when I was out shopping for my birthday dinner, when we were both trying to find clothes to wear for the birthday dinner. And then that sort of lit the spark in me. I didn't have enough time to really spend a lot of time shopping in that particular store and then going to other vintage stores until a few days later. But definitely that sparked my interest. And I just started to think about the fact that we've spent months in Paris. We lived for a month in Paris. We lived 2 months in Versailles where we were going back and forth twice a week. And we've been to Paris multiple times. I have not once ever been to one of the vintage thrift stores until this trip.
And Paris is kind of famous for these.
I know.
So we spent our time in, you know, bistros, coffee shops, and places like that.
I'm just glad that I finally got to experience it and that I'm getting to share it with you. But before we jump into the footage, we just want to share with you an update on where we are today, because today we are back in Vero Beach, in our home in Vero Beach, and we had quite the experience getting back here.
Well, as an overview, avoid Heathrow at all costs. I mean, I think the common denominator in our problems, even losing the luggage, was Heathrow. And so getting from one terminal to another in Heathrow is sort of like hurry up and wait. And then you sit on a tram that doesn't move for 15 minutes, and then it goes in these winding roads that seem to go to nowhere and end up back at the same place almost. And it takes forever. So on the way back, we went through security. We were more prepared for British security than we had been in the past, and we kind of breezed through that. That wasn't a problem. We got on the plane on time, and then we sat on the plane for almost an hour and a half for no apparent reason. Okay, they kept telling us the problem was at Heathrow, that they didn't really tell us what it was, but it was Heathrow air traffic.
Air traffic control. They were just saying air traffic control has not cleared us to take off yet.
So we missed our connecting flight. And so instead of arriving at 7:30 in Orlando on
Wednesday evening,
having taken 2 flights, we had to fly through Washington and take 3 flights. And we got into the airport about 1:15, I believe.
1:30, yeah, around
something
there,
like that. By the time we got to the car, started driving home, we didn't walk in our door until after 3 o'clock.
And didn't go to bed until after 4. After 4 a.m.
Yeah, so it was particularly difficult. So a couple of things I would say is avoid Heathrow if you can. If you can't avoid Heathrow, do not, under any circumstances, have less than about a 2.5 hour.
Right.
And don't go 2 hours and 15 minutes or 2 hours just because it's a little less. Don't go less than 2.5 hours because there's going to be some kind of delay. Heathrow is very tough to get around. Know their security rules. Okay, if you don't know those, if you have any liquid, it's supposed to go
in a clear bag.
In a clear bag, like a baggie. And that's supposed to be completely separate from everything else. And they still have the same size requirements we have. But they're going to take out each bottle and analyze it separately. So if you can avoid putting them in your carry-ons, do that. That's the first choice.
I feel like we're like the example, like all of our videos are the example of what not to do.
But that's good, right? We can make the mistakes so you don't have to.
Yeah. Well, I think this is relative to like newbies, people that, because certainly we are not people who have been traveling to and from Europe for years and years. One of our followers pointed that out, said you guys don't sound like you have a lot of experience, and we don't. Like, this is relatively new to us, so we're learning as we go. And so the Heathrow thing, that definitely was just not thinking about how I just thought it would be exciting. Oh, I've never been to London, Tony is from there. And so wouldn't it be nice to transfer planes in London? Just a different experience, a new experience. Not even thinking we're going into a different country and then having to go yet to another different country and what that entails and what that would mean.
Yeah.
So going from the U.S. to another U.S. connection.
You might think that if you miss your connection and you fly to Heathrow and you can fly to Paris anytime you want, like there's a flight every hour like there might be between Boston and Washington. There's not. They're like every 6 hours. And if you miss your flight, you got a long wait.
Yeah.
And you may not even get a flight that day. So it's not that easy. So if you can avoid it, avoid it.
But I think our best bet is going to be going down to Miami and doing the direct flight to Paris. So that's what we're going to try to do next time. But for now, let's go ahead and get to the footage of the Marais vintage thrift stores. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go. Today is Monday, June 16th, and I am headed over to the Marais. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. My pronunciation of French is horrible. I am headed over to the Marais district, which is in the 4th arrondissement, and it's very well known for its thrift shops and vintage stores. And there's a store that I found on my birthday, and I thought the name would be on the receipt, but it's not. So I'm retracing my steps from my birthday to find this thrift store because it was awesome. It was so reasonable. They had items there for €5, €10. And then I looked up another place where I would say it's similar to, although I don't know, I haven't been there yet, I'm headed there today, that it's similar to like a Goodwill or something along those lines in the US, because they have items as low as €1, but you apparently have to dig through bins and things like that. So we'll see. We'll see what that's like, but I'm really excited because I found some great things on my birthday and I'm going to go check it out. It's been rainy and then sunny, and now it looks like it's going to rain again. So I do have my raincoat that I finally bought at a cute little boutique by our hotel, and so I'm prepared. I have my long raincoat and I'm going to share as much as I can with you of my adventure today to the vintage thrift stores in Paris. The GPS is directing me to go through this park in order to get to the vintage store that I'm looking for. And of course we have the beautiful Saint-Jacques that I've been to many times, but it never ceases to have me in complete awe of just how beautiful it is. So I just want to jump in at this point and share a couple of things. One being about the green cabinets that are all along the Seine that are called booksellers, but there's also another name for them. Tony's going to share a bit of information about that. But also, you'll notice that I walk through the Saint-Jacques, the monument of Saint-Jacques, and I want to explain that when I went on my birthday and stumbled into that first thrift store, I took an Uber. This is the first time we've gone to Paris where we've utilized Ubers a lot more than we ever have in the past. One reason being the rain and the other reason being my knee. So on my birthday, it was raining for a period of time, so I decided to take an Uber, which is why as I'm walking through Saint-Jacques, I'm commenting how GPS is taking me through this park, because in retracing my steps, I was trying to get to the place where the Uber dropped me off. So I first needed to get from our hotel to the place where the Uber dropped me off, and then retrace my steps from there to find this vintage store that I could not remember the name of. So just to sort of explain why I'm walking through that park and I'm going, okay, GPS is taking me through here. I'm not really sure why, but this is great. I'm enjoying the monument, but also wanted to talk a little bit about those famous green cabinets.
Well, if you any movie of Paris where you see a scene of people walking along the Seine, you will see these book cabinets, green book cabinets. They're called bouquinistes, and I'm probably not pronouncing that quite right, but that's my version of the word. And they sell primarily used books, but they also sell really nice photographs of Paris from different monuments, some that are partially in color and partially black and white, which are really unique and very nice. And they also sell concert posters that are pretty unique. It is thought that the Paris mayor's office is trying to get rid of them all for the Olympics, but we saw no evidence of that. They're in full force, very popular. We stopped at one and bought quite a bit.
Bought some prints that we're going to frame for our house here in Vero Beach. Some really beautiful prints.
And not all of them are great, but a lot of them are.
Yeah.
So you can just walk along, and if you walk for 200 yards, let's say near Pont Neuf, if you walk for 200 yards, you'll run into 15 of them, and you'll have your choice of a lot of different things.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get back to the video. Go in here and then I just had huge success at the Free P Star vintage store that I just went into, and I spent a total of, for this big bag, 4 items for €4. They were €1 each. And even though it was certainly a workout, sifting through the clothes, it was really worth it. And I'm going to share with you the finds after I go to a couple more vintage shops here. There's another Free P Star store, vintage store right behind me, which is virtually right next door to the other one. And then there's another vintage store right across this alleyway here that I'm going to go after that. Next vintage store on my list. So we hope that you enjoyed that footage of my experience shopping at the vintage thrift stores. I'm very excited with my 4 items that I found at Free P Star, which I'm going to share with you the 4 items, what they are. And I did find some other items at the other stores as well. I am the type of person, you're not gonna find me in one of those vintage thrift stores where they have Louis Vuitton and Gucci, and I'm not a name brand girl. I am definitely the type of person that loves fashion, and I like good quality clothing as well, but I love when I find it for a really great price. I would much rather spend our money on going to Paris than spending it on a Louis Vuitton bag. That's just my priority. So, are you ready to see?
I'm ready.
What I found?
Yeah.
Tony has actually seen them already, but I'm showing them to you. So this shirt that I'm wearing here, I don't know if you can see the embellishment. Tony said it looks like, what did you say it looks like? I look like country western. It looks like a country western shirt. I don't know about that. It's Biba, so it's by the company, the brand. It makes me think of Freddie Mercury's girlfriend Mary and how she worked at Biba when they first met. So this is vintage Biba, and there's a lot of details. It's gorgeous. I love it. And then another €1 item that I found is this. It's a shirt, but it's like a sweater where it has wide sleeves. And it's just gorgeous. €1, so nice. So there's that. And then it's Zara, and it's a sweatshirt, but it has these fluffy pink sleeves. It's an oversized sweatshirt, and I love wearing oversized sweatshirts because even though it's Florida, in the house, sometimes it can be freezing with the air conditioning. So I love that, and it's also going to be a sweater that I'm going to wear when we go back to Paris in the cooler weather. And then this is my favorite find. I'm going to put this on. It's a bomber jacket. And if you can see, it's very cool. It has all of these really super cool emblems on it. So I'm gonna put it on here. And it fits me perfectly. And it's just fun, right?
Nice. Very nice.
It's fun. And that's what I like. I like things that are different, that are unique, that are fun, that are not your I like the classic styles too, but I'm very eclectic. So I'm really happy with my vintage finds, and I hope that you enjoyed the video.
And we have a lot more to show you from our trip, and hopefully you'll join us again next week.
We'll see you then.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.